You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Do every act of your life as if it were your last. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. The soul of man does violence to itself first and foremost when it becomes an abscess, a tumor, a sponge, a something that lives off the flesh and blood of the people. Death smiles at us all we can do is smile back. The most important thing in life is not the triumph but the struggle. The essential thing is not to have conquered, but to have fought well. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The world is nothing but change, our life is only perception. Very little is needed for everything to be upset and ruined, only a slight lapse in reason. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. No man can escape his destiny, the next inquiry being how he may best live the time that he has to live. Such as are your habitual thoughts, such also will be the character of your mind, for the soul is dyed by the thoughts. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Receive without pride, let go without attachment. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. What we do now echoes in eternity. How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. The art of living is more like that of wrestling than of dancing, for the man has to stand firm and brave the unexpected, and endure the sudden appearances and assaults of those who oppose him. The person's worth is measured by the worth of what he values. Remember that very little is needed to make a happy life. Begin to begin is half the work, let half still remain, again begin this, and thou wilt have finished. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by, and another takes its place, and this too will be swept away. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? The only thing that isn't worthless, to live this life out truthfully and rightly, and be patient with those who don't. The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. Look well into thyself, there is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. The object in life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Remember this, that there is a proper dignity and proportion to be observed in the performance of every act of life. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. The power to live a great life is in our souls if we only have the courage to use it. For it is in your power to retire into yourself whenever you choose. So keep yourself simple, good, pure, serious, unpretentious, a friend of justice, God-fearing, kind, full of affection, strong for your proper work. People who are excited by posthumous fame forget that the people who remember them will soon die too, and those after them in turn. Remember how often you have postponed minding your interest and let slip those opportunities the gods have given you. It is now high time to consider what sort of world you are part of and from what kind of governor of it you are descended. To live happily is an inward power of the soul. The present moment is all you have and all you control. Let no act be done at haphazard, nor otherwise than according to the finished rules that govern its kind. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy. What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. The ruling principle is that which rouses and turns itself, and while it makes itself such as it is, and such as it wills to be, it also makes everything which happens appear to itself to be according to its own constitution. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy. Objective judgment, now, at this very moment. Unselfish action, now, at this very moment. Willing acceptance now, at this very moment of all external events. Life is warfare and a visit to a strange land, and the emperors who have gone before us have proved it and written down in their journals how they were wont to behave in war and how in peace. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Never esteem anything as of advantage to thee that shall make thee break thy word or lose thy self-respect. Consider if you have so far wandered from reason and right behavior as to be disturbed because someone else has gone astray, and to grieve and vex yourself because of that. The man who is a good and true citizen will knock on his neighbor's door, not the door of his fellow countrymen. Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things have reference to one perception, the perception of this one living being. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Everything is only for a day, both that which remembers and that which is remembered. And thus, when they find that it is not sufficient to turn their gaze to the heavens, but that they also are required to walk upon the earth and to submit to the laws of nature, they are indignant and complain of the order of the universe.